ladies and gentlemen, we have the grand final of the combined single elimination. So this is the second step if a player of the OGL will actually promote to the Trackmania Grandleague. We have 3 Trackmania OGL players in this grand final, and I'm accompanied by the beautiful, the handsome, the legend, Paul. Hello.
Well, thank you very much for introducing me in such a glowing way. I mean, I would say all of these players are really lighting up the times on the server, but the only one who truly lights up my life is the man along with me, Mr. Turbo, Mr. LuckersTurbo himself. But I mean, since I'm part of this now, there's one condition that comes along with me casting, and that's a side bet. So if we're, yep. So who are we going to say is going to be the top 2 of this final?
I would say Affi. Affi will be my side bet.
Right, okay. Affi's going to be your side bet, so I'm going to pick the other person of that top 2, and I'm going to say Pack.
Ooh,
I mean,
nice
Gwen's
pick.
been really strong. Gwen has been really strong,
yeah.
But I mean, whether or not he'll be able to keep up this kind of level through such a long period of time is very much a question which I want to see answered. So I can't wait to see it. But we're just about to finish our one warm-up, and I do not have a map order. So as far as I know, it's going to be contest diving, and that's it.
Okay, contest diving, Zeppelin, Bunny Hop, Mini XXL, Sky Hero, and then Rock or Roll.
Oh, that's going to be scary. I'm sure some of the players will be glad to avoid Rock or Roll, though it seems to be the most controversial map of the pack. But we are just about to get underway, but it's on the man himself stream, LuckersTurbo. I think only one man can start it off.
Alright, let's go with the first round, and let's follow Gwen, who is really dominating, who had really dominated the whole kind of single elimination bracket. I've not seen a match from him yet, so I'm really curious to see if he is able to pull off another great time here. I think he dropped a 121 or like a very low time here, and right now it's really looking good for him that he's gonna take this round as well as he goes for that
drops.
As he goes for that outside approach here and gets contested by Affi here. So Affi will actually go into the lead. As we see Yannex lurking in the shadow and Pack dropping a bit behind. He's roughly 0.6 of a second behind the rest of the pack. As we see actually 2 Exalti players playing here. So this is really nice to see. 2 from the 4 Exalti players made it to the final here. So this is really nice. Alright, so Affi still in first as we see Gwen going for a little bit of an alternative line. And actually this pays off. So Gwen up to first place again. So what an interesting line there from the 15-year-old playing for Team Game Ward. And this is just so... I can't believe it. Gwen is 15 and plays on such a high level and is right now being ahead of 0.15 of a second. But this can all change in the blink of an eye as Gwen gets a godlike box light here and actually increases his lead. So what was that? 0.5 of a second ahead of Affi. So this will be another banger of a time for the youngster here. A 122.81!
Wow, what a time.
Are you kidding me?
There.
Affi in second, and then we have Pack not able to finish, Yannex in third. But what was that time? Gwen is playing out of his mind. Holy moly, so he's really confirming our side bet.
Yeah, he's coming to win this grand final, let's be honest. He wants to secure the Trackmania Grandleague slot, and I don't blame him, of course, ever having missed out, as people were saying he was too young, but he's really having quite a cool head here through this single elimination bracket. Experience higher than you would think from his age, of course, but coming out with 10 points early on and a fantastic time is really going to put the pressure on the other players here. We're seeing Pack once again get off to a slow start, though, and making another mistake. And Pack really having some issues early on here. Starting off on 0 points is certainly not something I'm sure he will be wanting to have to worry about here. And coming after the first half of this map, though, we are seeing it once again being a split between 2 players we've seen so often throughout the Open Grandleague season, and that is Gwen and Affi. Gwen going really high up here. You can see again his alternate line he goes for there. It will affect his approach he'll be able to take for this tight tech section, but he manages to pull off very well. But Pack is also becoming part of this group. Look at this, though. There's like 1 car between 3 people here as Gwen has a good lead here, coming through into the identity for the second time. And Affi gets a really inside line, but has to get... Oh, and look how close this is between the 2 Exalti players. Actually split now by Pack coming into the final turn here. Pack goes for a really inside line here, and he's going to take more speed through this, and he takes it. But what a time by Gwen once again! What is this madness?
Oh my god. What is this time by Gwen? 122.78. So he's just popping another 122. What is this guy doing? I mean, no one can actually contest with him. But what a great round there from Pack there in the end. He had a really good line. His apex was just top notch here. And that was why he could actually overtake Affi and Yannex there in the end. As we see, however, now Affi making the first mistake of the round, dropping 0.35 of a second behind. And what can I say? It is Gwen again in first, followed up by Pack, who goes for the inside line and therefore gets overtaken by Yannex, who did it really good. Affi with another mistake though. But a very close fight here for that first place again. So Pack is still holding strong, but Gwen is just on another level. He seems to dominate this grand final here, but it didn't get the best line here, and therefore Pack overtakes here. But I'm really interested to see what he can pull off with this alternative line, because now you can see if this one is really that much faster or not. So you get a very better angle, but look at this. Gwen just pulls away and Pack is down to second yet again. Oh, Yannex comes closer towards Pack, so this will be a spicy fight for that second place here, as we see Pack going for a little bit of an alternative line and touches the roadblock there and loses additional time there as well. Gwen is still in first, but gets the wheelie and therefore lost speed, so Yannex now was able to go up to first place, and Yannex will most likely grant himself the first 10 pointers unless he messes up the end, which won't happen. So another great time here, 123.54. This is sufficient to win rounds, not 0.7 of a second faster. So Gwen is still in second, Pack in third, and Affi after that horrendous mistake in last. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy when we're thinking such a good performance coming out from Yannex in that round, and he's still 0.7 slower than some of the times Gwen was doing, but it just goes to show what kind of level of skill this young man's exhibiting, and showing that he's not afraid to kind of go out with the normal approach there, taking his own lines, kind of being party to his own advice, so to speak here. But really, I'm very surprised here by Pack. He was dominating his own semi-final there, finding himself only in 10 points. A disappointing start for the British player, surrounded by French speakers here. However, Affi off to a much better start this time. He was a very strong performer here on this map in the matches previous. This time he's wanted to pick up from where he left off perhaps in the rounds before, but not off to a good start in 12 points in this match either. However, Pack this time is the one in the lead. Gwen once again going for his alternate line. It's very important here, as of course it may not be faster at the start. However, with a great risk, he can catch up some time with a very tight line going through this tech section. But Pack is keeping his nose ahead only just though. Both are on incredible times here. Pack opts for a more outside line. It'll mean he'll have to release a little bit here. Gwen actually makes contact with the top of the CP there, but will Pack be able to have a grass slide to match? Gwen actually catches up a little bit here though. However, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. He's going to need to count on Pack's mistakes here, as Yannex and Affi have dropped further back here. Pack! We're going through there, and he holds on by 7,000ths of a second.
Wow, I was thinking that Pack got overtaken there, but 7,000 of a second. That was super close, super close. And this is exactly what Pack was needing. He has to catch up towards Gwen, but Gwen is just on another level. After that, 2 10-pointers at the first 2 rounds. He granted himself 2 6-pointers in a row, and this is a very good start for the youngster here. And again, with a very good start for him as we're approaching the last round on contest diving. So we will most likely not see this map again, as we have seen only 5 maps were played in the other semifinals, or maybe 6. But Gwen, however, on a banger of a start again. He's in minus, so he could drop another 122 as he is miles ahead. 0.3 of a seconds ahead of Yannex. So he just seemed to perform on another level. As you can see here, Yannex dropping down towards that last place as he goes very far to the inside, but doesn't have really a lot of speed over that section. So Pack up to P2 yet again. And it is Affi dropping a bit further behind. Gwen again opting for that alternative line, and this is better because you have a better angle for that drift, but of course it's way riskier here. So Yannex, let's see what you can do.
Gwen's on.
Yeah, what
oh my god.
Okay, let's just spectate Gwen here for that one. So if he oh my god. Oh my god. What is he doing? Okay, that was okay. Okay, he didn't have a little good box slide there, but look at this battle here for that second place. Yannex seems to be a little bit better here in that section, but Peg comes a little bit stronger here. Who's gonna take it? Peg with a mistake, and Peg from third to last place here as Affi is overtaking him and Gwen. Yeah, I mean, 122.82. What a bad time. What a bad time.
Yeah,
what a disappointment.
Sure. What a disappointment, yeah. And I mean, Yannex improving his fastest time in this map to a 123.3 and still over half a second behind. I mean, Gwen, what a performance. I mean, I haven't had anyone blow me that away since I met you. So, I mean, coming into map number 2 here, however, we move on to Zeppelin. And this is a map which I anticipate we're going to see a lot more mistakes on. But while we're in the warm-up, something I'm interested in your perspective on. Are you surprised that we've only seen one Trackmania Grandleague player as part of this final?
I think, I mean, as we've seen in the first, in the time attack seeding on the first map, we have seen Gwen, Yannex, and Affi really dominating it. I'm really surprised that a player like Bren maybe didn't make it, and maybe Marcin, he was a bit unlucky, and maybe Revolution. But on the other hand, I mean, maybe the OGL players wanted more. Maybe they just wanted to qualify themselves, because they're only there are only 2 players who will get down to the OGL, or if even. And I think players are like, yo, I'm getting to that TMGL anyway, or something like that. And the other players really have to prove themselves because they think there is something better. So what is actually your perspective about that? I'm really curious at that, because this is a good question.
Yeah, it feels as if exactly the main part what you're saying in there is the desire. The desire is clearly there for those who are fighting for spots that they don't have, over people who are fighting to keep what they've already had. I mean, I can imagine some of the players maybe had their taste of Trackmania Grandleague already. Maybe they liked it, maybe they didn't, but they've already experienced it. They've not had to sit on the sidelines and watch these players competing for, you know, 100 euros for every map and competing for such, you know, high stakes and playing against such amazing players that they may have idolized when they were younger or anything like that. But in terms of this, we are going into map number 2, and we're already seeing Gwen with 14 points in the lead here. But of course, it does not matter who's going to be top 2, and it does not matter who's going to be bottom 2. It just matters what position you get for the overall bracket and what points you're going to take home. But we are moving into round number 1 here. This Zeppelin map, I would say, is of course a very long map. It is one of the most risky maps. We've seen a lot of mistakes coming out here. We've seen a lot of players gain so much time by just going all out. However, Affi gets a very unfortunate mid-road bug there. You hate to see it. A lot of players managed to avoid it, and I suppose maybe the caster's curse had worked there, but no, unfortunately it always gets you at the end. But Pack managing to catch up just a slight bit here, however, finds himself 1/10 now behind Gwen. Gwen once again holding on to the lead here. I suppose this will be a bit of a nightmare for him on this map, perhaps. As he lost a lot of points here through the regular Open Grandleague season. I suppose Pack was party to losing a few points here as well, so perhaps the players may be looking upon this map with a little bit of dread here, but less at stake, less points to worry about losing here at the very least as we are on rounds. But Gwen at the moment here still with a lead. However, it is a slender one, only 1/10. However, Pack going a little bit close to that little bubble there means he will drop down very slightly, but coming into this ending, Pack too close. And he is down and out of this round. He will have to respawn most likely. Gwen and Yannex up at the top, and Gwen should be comfortable to be able to secure this. A bit of a rocky approach there. Going on to the Zeppelin, he won't make connection with the poles, and that is a 10 points for Gwen. Make it look easy.
What is this time again from Gwen here? And I think Dread is the right description of the map. I mean, good that Massa is not in the grand final. Then I think he has still nightmares of this map, obviously. But I mean, I just want to really stress out the performance from Gwen here, dropping another 126 here, which is a very, very good match time. I think we've seen 125s in seedings. But Gwen is he just shows that he's on another level. Just look at the start. You saw how close that was. This was insane, and he is already 1/10 of a second ahead of Affi, Pack, and Yannex. And this time around, no mistakes from the players here. Everyone survived it. The only player who dropped a little bit behind is Pack here, who finds himself 0.35 of a second behind Gwen and Affi, and Affi seems to catch up towards Gwen here, but yeah, it's super close here for that P1 placement, as you see Gwen going for a little bit of a very, very risky drift, so he had definitely to release. So let's spectate Affi here, going into the second half of the map, the technical part of the map, and then we're going to this identity. You have to cancel your steering in order to not get a no slide there on this prior part. And now Gwen is yet again on that first placement, being 0.3 of a second ahead of Affi. So I don't know what did he drink today?
Crashed.
What did he drink today? He's again on a very good time, being ahead of his PB, and this is just another day at the office for him. So Gwen,
both Yannex and Affi respawn.
Wait, what? What happened? Wait, Pack is now in second. Wait, yes, Pack is second now, even though he made a mistake.
Might not finish.
Wait, Affi's...
What's happening?
So Affi is able to finish, but then we have Yannex. Wait, he's also able to finish.
Only just.
Wait, what was happening here in that round? But yeah, take over round number 3, Paul.
Yeah, so they were both very close, cutting the identity so fine, just to try and get that extra 10th or extra 100th or something like that, and just as I said, this map can be so risky, so if you do not calculate it perfectly, you're going to have a bad day. And currently, definitely not having a bad day is 62. I mean, I certainly, 62 points with Gwen. I certainly want to know what he's been having to drink as well. I want some of that. Then I'll finally perhaps reach Scotty 2.0, but that's something for another stream. But we are off to a better start here for all 3 of the top players here, with Affi dropping down slightly lower here. Gwen, the one with a bit more speed, but we are side by side. 69,000s, nice. Coming in for the top 4 here between first and all the way down to 4th. Affi gaining so much speed going through there, though. Manages to overtake Pack, but now it's coming for a battle for the top 2 and the bottom 2. Gwen! I have no idea what happened there. That was some acrobatics, and he finds himself now with a first massive mistake of this map. And now the round is in the hand of the XLT player Yannex, who only just scraped himself in here by way of getting second in his semi-final. He made a mistake his first time with this identity, but he does survive this time. Pack up in second, risks it going through with a really tight jump. But will he be able to hold on to it? Yannex lands earlier, but Pack will have more speed coming on here. And who's going to have the better exit is going to be Pack, I think.
Oh my God!
Feels it 1/100th of a second, and you could not get any closer of a gap there.
Oh my God, what was that ending? I thought for a minute that Pack was taking it, but 13,000 of a second is just serving the purpose that Yannex will get that first place, and this is exactly what he needs, but the gap between him and Yannex is 18 points. What happened to Gwen there is exactly what I was talking about. You need to let go of your steering, and if you're not, you get a no slide, because you're in the slide already. So that was what was happening to Gwen. He played golf with friends, but this time he's off to a great start yet again. As we see Affi dropping a bit further behind. Yannex not with the best line, but he was able to stabilize his line here. Pack in 3rd place, and but he's chasing him. He's only 1/10 of a second away from the first place.
It's so close again.
Yeah, but who's first again? Of course, it's Gwen. Oh, what a rhyme. Okay, so Gwen just on another level yet again. Hopefully he won't make a mistake. Okay, why did I say that? Okay, so Castus Curse is kicking in. Hello. So Yannex against Pack here for that first place. As we see Pack with a very superior line over Yannex, as well as this one. Yannex goes super close to the left there and had to readjust his line. Was barely able to not hit the roadblock here, and Pack was able to grant himself that first place. But now the identity is coming up. It's do or die for all the players. Gwen actually in 3rd place, but not getting a good landing here into the identity, so he won't get any closer towards Yannex. Wait, what? Yannex, are you playing the Rager Cup, Yannex? This is not the time of the year right now. But yeah, Yannex very lucky in 2nd, Pack in 1st, and Gwen in 3rd after that mistake. So Yannex, yeah, the Rager Cup and Kaki, yeah. You can play that, but yeah, that was really lucky because he barely clipped the CP and clipped it yet again then. So yeah, interesting to see that. Gwen at 69.
You gotta say though, I mean, perhaps his experience in playing these sort of maps might have aided him in being able to recover from what was just cutting that a little bit too close there, a bit too close for comfort. But we're seeing now going into the final round of Zeppelin here, and we see now Gwen for the first time actually getting off to quite a subpar start, as he's on the best score possible, of course, apart from finalist. But we see here a double Exalty, of course, up at the top with Yannex and Affi, but it's so important to get so much speed coming out of this section. And you see here Pack and Gwen are showing that in full force here, as Gwen's going to cleave his way through the Exalty players. And he actually gets himself all the way up to second place, but Affi recovers with a little bit of a switch back there. Pack is the one now finding himself far in the lead here. He's doing a Gwen cosplay perhaps. Gwen goes for a really low jump coming through that section, and hopefully he'll avoid a mistake coming through here, as all players have been on clean rounds so far through this map. And Gwen trying to close down a little bit onto Pack. He's finished with Yannex. And Affi, he's chasing after bigger prey here. Affi makes a mistake and he's going to be down. But now it's down to Pack and Gwen here. Gwen with more speed coming onto the Zeppelin. Pack's going to have an awkward angle. Gwen risks it. And he is out of this round. Pack also still risking it. Doesn't know. Is he going to be able to survive? He does. By the skin of his teeth. And now Yannex will settle for second place. But what a save there by Pack. God. He survives a 126.2 as well. What a round up there at the top, and the fastest time of the match to boot.
Oh, what a great time by Pack, and he was only slightly hitting the CP, and I was thinking for a slight moment that he would touch the quarter pipe there with his nose because his car tilted too much, but that wasn't the case. So Pack luckily got himself 10 points, and he's now up to 55 points. And actually Gwen is, I mean, you have to respect that, you know? Having 69 points in 2 rounds is also good. Okay, so
yeah, maybe that's tactical.
Yeah, maybe that's tactical to distract the opponents by this beautiful number. Okay, but yeah, Gwen is had stumbled a bit on the prior map, so now we have a fight here. Yannex and Pack came a bit closer. The only player who dropped a bit further behind is Affi with 38 points. But yeah, Paul, we have seen some crazy rounds on this map here. We have seen some crazy rounds. 1,000 of a second. Oh man. That was super, super interesting to see. So I'm really interested to see how Gwen will perform. He dropped a 109 here in the seeding. And Affi was also very, very convincing here. So let's see what will happen here. I mean, Affi right now with a very good warm-up. We've seen some golf with friends here as well, as players decided to go into the hole or just hit the narrowing of the roads. So far it seems that, yeah, all players except of Yannex survived the warm-up. But what do you think? Who will shine here on this map?
Well, we see Yannex actually securing his win on this map last time, and he really clutched it out here with some strong performance round after round, and going up against the likes of Bren and Massa, who are some of the fastest players in the game. I mean, he could potentially get himself that bit closer to Gwen here. It really is anyone's game coming into this, but Affi needs a good map, either that or he might consider himself out of this final already.
Yeah, he's 17 points behind Pack, who's third at the moment. So this is a very, very grim situation for Affi now. Kicking off into round number 1 here, as we go with Affi for this round, because he needs to deliver. As we see, Gwen did the only 109 in the seeding-ish round, or in the time attack round. But Affi now with the best start, as it seems. He's 0.07 of a second ahead of Gwen, and only Yannex dropped a bit further behind, so he won't have a saying. But it's very, very close. It's neck and neck here for that top 3, as Pack is also in the mix. Affi, however, with a very, very good dirt section. But so look at Gwen. Look at him go. He just caught up a lot. I thought Affi did it perfectly. But then we have Gwen, who's just putting it on another level, who goes for the left. Right, left, we don't see that, but he made a mistake, so another mistake for the French player here, and Pack was able to catch up. So Affi still in first, and this is exactly what he needs. He's in dire need of those 10 points here. He's 0.5 of a second ahead of Pack, so he can take it a little bit more easy here. In the ending, he doesn't have to risk it that much. So let's see, is Affi able to survive it here in the end, or is Pack risking it here? No, it seems that Affi will survive it, so no, an anticlimactic end here. Affi in first with a 110.24. What a great time. Pack in second, Gwen in third, and then we have Yannex barely able to finish in last place. Wow, what a round. What a round.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Affi definitely picking up the pace here. We actually saw a few people miss, but actually in the warm-up, Affi pulled off a 110.0, so perhaps this is his map. This is his time to get back into the match. And there is no better time than now, halfway through the match pretty much, and he finds himself so far behind. Of course, we are going to be fighting for all positions here in this final, so every single point he gets will matter, of course. Even if he can't catch Gwen, he can catch Yannex, he can catch Pack, who do find themselves that little bit closer now. 14 points separating Affi and his teammate Yannex, but Yannex having some issues early on in this round, as it's now Gwen, Pack, and Affi now fighting for the top. Gwen, though, opting for another alternate line here. This is, of course, more than one map where he decides to do things a little bit differently. With so much speed there. Affi this time making the mistake, and now it's going to be Pack versus Gwen. Also, Yannex in the mix here. Pack with a lot more exit speed though, and he's going to Gwen going for such a risk going through there though. He does have to make a correction there, but it's not enough. And he has to actually fall down so much that he has to respawn even, so he's going to go all the way down to last. Yannex risking it to overtake Pack into the first place though. And is Pack going to be able to get a better identity? He does not. Yannex survives by 1/10 of a second, and Affi manages to scavenge 4 points there, but that's going to dent his hopes to get back into this match. And Gwen not even finishing. That's 2 rounds now he's lost points. And now Yannex is 1 point behind, and Pack is 6 points behind. But what a gap to be closed now for Gwen.
Wow, I mean, this is very unfortunate for Gwen, making or really risking it too much here at this point. I mean, he was in the mix and he could have taken it a little bit easier, but I've spectated him in one match, and he was saying, I don't know how to save. And this is maybe what is lacking, that he can play it safe at some point. But right now we see Pack yet again with a good start here, but the times the players are doing here are insane. But look how close this is. So much speed. Look at this, how close it is. We see Pack in last right now, but nothing is set in stone here as we approach this 180-degree turn into that zigzag part where you have to avoid going into the hole. Oh, I thought for a minute that Gwen made a mistake, but Pack, however, clipping the hole there, and it's a battle between the Swiss player, both 2 Swiss players, and the 15-year-old French wonder child. You can just describe him like that, who's right now holding first. Not going.
Oh, Yannex, so close.
Oh my god. Not going so close to the wall this time, and this is why Yannex can overtake him. So Gwen down to P2, but look at this. Yannex with a mistake, and now it's between Affi and Gwen for that first place. Who's gonna take it? Affi with the risk, but it's not enough. Gwen with a 1:10.26 for that first place. Affi in second, Pack getting third after that horrendous mistake there, and Yannex after misjudging his line there in last. So Gwen still holding strong on that first place and extending his lead over Yannex there by 8 points. Kick it off, Paul.
Yeah, but it's starting to get much closer now. I mean, Affi's starting to get himself much more into the mix in these rounds, of course. Pack still finding himself languishing in third place here. Yannex, as I predicted, starting to look very good on this map. Of course, did make a big mistake there at the end of the last round, but I mean, that is the nature of this game, and these maps are tending to go to those who are willing to put it all on the line. Hence why Gwen is perhaps taking so many points from this, of course. But at the moment here, we're seeing Affi now getting himself back up to the top. This time followed very closely by Gwen as expected on another good round. And let's see how the alternate lines pay out for these players. Gwen manages to take a little bit more speed here, but he has to cut off. And now Affi with a much more inside line here, but he's going to have a lot more turning to do. And now Gwen with more speed, trying to catch up here. And they're side by side. Gwen risks it so much going over there. Does keep his car off the wall this time, though. Affi will stay within arm's reach of Gwen here at the moment, but loses so much speed on the exit of that loop and risks it going into the identity. Who's going to have it better going through here? And Affi gets a little bit of a better bounce. He lands earlier, but he's not close enough. 300ths of a second between them, but Gwen takes it once again, and that's 10 points for the man in first place.
Oh,
what a round there up at the top, though. How close can you get?
Oh my god, what a close round. Every player in between half a second. Every player dropped 110.7. This is insanely good. I can't even do that in a multi-lap sometimes. So this is just insanely good. Going into the last round on bunny hop here, as we see Affi almost touching the inside there of the tunnel block, but manages to stay alive here, as he's right now in last place, being 400ths of a second behind the rest of the pack. Speaking of pack, he is right now in first place, getting himself a very good line, very far inside. Goes for that smooth steering, but it didn't pay off. So it's Gran now overtaking the lead, as well as Yannex being... Oh my god, what is this battle? I can't even tell who's first right now because it's super close. Alternative lines by Gwen here, and he has a little bit more speed over the other guys, and it's Gwen and Yannex with a very good landing over Affi. Look at this. Yannex is catching up towards Affi, but Gwen is now in P3, and what happened to Pack? I didn't capture that, but he is probably out on this round. He's 0.4 of a second behind the rest of the pack. But let's focus here. Who's gonna take it? I think an Exalted player will take it, but it's Yannex.
Same mistake.
Oh, Yannex again with a mistake, and it's Affi being in first. Gwen in second.
Pack doesn't finish.
Wait, what? What happened to Pack? Pack, Turtle, you're not an FWO. What is happening?
No.
FW, welcome to FWO, Pack. Oh, but you didn't get any points. That's the solace for him. But Pack dropping down to P4 now as he's equal with Affi, who did a great comeback here on this track. So look how close this is for the second place, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Well, look, even for second place all the way down to fourth, it's so close. 9 points separating 3 players there. But even Gwen isn't all the way out of the heat just yet. I mean, he turned in some good rounds there on this map, but Mini XXL, he cannot afford to take his foot off the gas. You would say this map would favour, I suppose it's a little bit of an easier map.
Yeah.
It does tend to the players risking a little bit more. So we will see, I'd expect closer rounds here, but one thing I did notice in the time attack seeding, Gwen has a different way of doing the ending, the identity here, which seemed to gain him a lot of time. So if you're going to keep your eye on something for those in the chat, definitely keep your eye on Gwen's ending here is, of course, once again, this may be another map where he has a little surprise technique for us, which just gets him that little tiny edge over the players. But, I mean, what is it you think with Gwen that makes him keep thinking up these new lines and these new techniques that the other players just seem to gloss over? Do you think maybe with such youth that's bringing himself a new outlook into these sort of rounds? In these sort of maps?
I mean, it seemed that Pack, he showed it in the warm-up, that Pack is really strong, and he showed it in the seeding in the start. But then, of course, Gwen, however, found a safe line for this ending. I don't know, you see different approaches. You saw Affi, he goes very far up. Yannex opts for a very similar line towards Gwen. So I think Gwen, on the end of the day, will be the superior player here because he has just the best lines here for that ending and the lines who worked out the best for him. So, yeah, I mean, Pack really struggled with that ending as well as on the first step, or on the first step where this map got played. So, I don't really see him doing a lot of damage here, but of course he can capitalize from it or show us that he is the one who can, yeah, perform here.
Well, that's already a mistake being made from one of the Exalted players, though. That's Yannex down. And I gotta imagine this must be a really strange situation for Pack to be in, being in a position where he's against players who are just faster than him in these tracks. I can't imagine he's been in that place for quite a few years now. But of course, going toe-to-toe with Gwen. So he's certainly not ready to lay down the mantle of being one of the fastest players in the world here. Gwen gets a bit of a better line there, though. Pack using a bit too much of the verges on the dirt there to take a little bit too much airtime there, but Gwen overtaking and getting a little bit more exit speed and risking it going through there means he will stretch his legs over Pack now. Affi trying to keep a hold of this group, but he's just too far behind. Yannex is already down and having made a mistake. Now it's only going to come down to who gets the best endings here. Gwen takes so much speed and so much risk going through there, and you really couldn't ask for more for Gwen, but coming into the identity for the first time, let's see what we can do. Massively different approach from Pack here. Pack opts to straighten himself out as much as possible early on, and he gets more speed, but he's going to have a wider entry there. Entry there to the last checkpoint, and Gwen takes it for 113.494, and that's faster than nearly everyone's time attack seeding time so far. So what a start there to Gwen, and only 2 rounds away from finalists.
Yeah, what a great round there. I mean, he will most likely, or he will get the face slap if he grants himself the first place with 119 points. And he will be very sad about this because he DNF'd 2 or even more rounds here. So not too great to see that. But look at this lead he has accumulated already. 23 points for him over Yannex, who's right now in second. Then we have Pack in third, who's right now in first, to say the least. But you've really seen how he's lacking, or he's lacking of knowledge, or not knowledge, but practice on the ending or understanding. And Gwen and all the other, both Exalted players, have just figured something out here for that ending. as we see Pack, however, being in first, chased by Affi, and also Gwen and Yannex are in the mix. However, Yannex is a bit further behind as Pack goes onto this a little bit too much and lost a little additional speed. So Affi and Gwen will come a little bit closer. So this is what I would call a round here, as we have Gwen lurking in the shadow, and we know what he's capable of doing in the end. Affi with a very good section here. What was that? But as well as Gwen, so Pack got punished.
Oh, he's not got the speed.
Oh, let's see. Who's gonna take it here in the end? Is it Affi or is it Gwen? Who's gonna take it? But
oh,
also Pack. Oh, wait, what? What happened? Affi. Affi seems to take it. And it's actually Gwen in last. Affi with a very good time. 113.48 in first. Pack in second. Very good performance for him. Yannex in third. And then we have Gwen, very surprisingly, in last place. So this could where tables can turn, Paul.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see also how close these guys are getting to the time attack seeding times. I mean, the very first placing in the time attack seeding was Gwen, the 113.3. Oh! But Pack misses down. Golf with your friends, as you said there, perhaps not paying off for Pack. He's practicing the wrong games as he does find himself very far behind in fourth position here. 88 points, however, for Affi, wanting to recover some lost ground. But where's Gwen?
Oh, no,
Gwen's down and out. But now we have two Exalted players in the top two here with only 2 points of a difference between them. This is going to be very important here. They might be teammates, but there is no love lost when it comes to who decides who gets to stay in the Trackmania Grandleague, of course, or who actually gets to access Trackmania Grandleague out of these players. Affi at the moment, though, with a strong lead here, almost at the point where he can save the ending, which is very important in these sort of round formats. With the experience these players have in this sort of format, that might be something they're not entirely aware of, though. But Affi, so close. Maybe risk is the only word in his dictionary at the moment, as Affi looking to secure the first place. No problem. He's so close to the inside there, though. He cuts off a bit too much speed. He's going to have an awkward line here. Yannex might have a chance, but wiped out by a good ending there by Yannex. Yeah. And Gwen has to settle for fourth place, and third place. He's going to be denied finalist once again, though. And Gwen maybe starting to choke a little bit under the pressure, you think?
I mean, he has a lot of finalist attempts in spare. So if he gets third now, he has at least 2 more finalist attempts, unless Affi or Yannex or someone else, or maybe even Pack if he wins some rounds. No, he has 89 points.
Pack and Gwen are down.
Oh, wait, Gwen. And this is the time where Pack should deny him, and this is the face slap. And then we have a final. But I think Gwen, and someone said it in the chat, doesn't know what pressure is. He doesn't know what pressure is. This wonder child, he just knows that he's good, and he's just dwelling of confidence. So let's see. Where is Affi? Affi right now is in first, having a comfortable lead of 35.35 of a second. But Yannex is not coming a little bit closer. I thought so, but the car was just that slow that you didn't really know that. So it is Affi yet again. Same scenarios in the prior round.
Oh, Gwen crashed again.
Oh, that's actually, that is good for all of the players here. Because Gwen will be at 119 points. And
Affi's down.
Wait, what happened to Affi? Wait, I didn't capture that because I was at Gwen. But now it's Yannex in first. So what a back and forth here between all of the players. So they only need to make sure that Gwen is not overtaking one of the players. It looks very good here as Affi approaches a very good and almost overtakes Pack here. Yannex in first. Pack in second, and Gwen gets that face slap as Affi gets fourth place here and is now at 119 points. And both Affi and Yannex will move closer and closer towards Gwen here, and they are only both 2 rounds away of granting himself finalist status as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can see if Affi wins this round and say Yannex gets second or third, we could potentially see a triple finalist if Gwen gets denied once again, as you said, the slap in the face, meaning that, of course, he will not get finalist this round as he's on 119 points here. But when was the last time you saw Pack down at the bottom in a rounds match? I can certainly, or cup match, sorry, I can certainly not remember when, but Yannex certainly not in a good position here to be getting the top 3 that he needs. However, all he needs is one big mistake from one player. Pack and Gwen, though, on a hell of a round here so far. Affi needs a win here to get himself within 1 round of finalist, and he's not on the best run here. He needs an incredible round here to be able to catch up to these 2 players up at the top, and they're going toe-to-toe. Pack against Gwen here up at the top. Gwen on 119 only needs to finish, but he wants to deny the players any opportunity to get close down whatsoever. And they are going all out here into this ending, but Gwen is 0.2 of a second behind, so he's limited in what he can do here. As Pack, and he managed to hold on to it though. Goes very, very tight there, but manages to straighten out his car early. He will have more speed, but will he manage to keep it here? Good angle. And he just keeps ahead of Gwen there, as Gwen nearly recovered into the ending. Very, very tight there, but what a round up there at the top. 2.5s. Yannex settling for third place with a 0.8, but we have our first finalist in the single elimination. But we will move on to a different map.
Oh, we have Sky Hero. Oh my god, we will see so many crazy stuffs for the end. So guys, you can no-slide the end, you can break, or you can perform 2 neo-slides here. And I think this is the make it or break it. And I've really seen Pack being really strong on this one. So maybe we can see a comeback or maybe even a quadruple finalist situation. I don't want to forecast or witchcraft anything here, but I hope to see that just for the entertainment's sake. So Pack is the strongest here on this map, as I can see in the chat. Then we have Affi, who had a great comeback here and is now up to 3rd place. You remember he was like 20 points behind the second last place, and now he's up to 3rd place and only 3 points behind Yannex and 14 points of him granting himself the finalist status. But I think that Pack will actually win some rounds here, and Gwen will have a hard time here as we see him struggling in the warm-up. What do you think? Will Pack hold strong here and will continue where he stopped in the seeding or on the other rounds on this map?
Well, to be honest, going into this map, I think the only real room we're going to be seeing for mistakes is going through things like the little jump cut you do and the ending, to be honest. Well, no, the one previous where the players can jump over or choose to safe and go the different line. But, I mean, coming through this, when we talk about even things like the time attack seeding, Pack did have a much faster time than Gwen. Same with Affi as well. So Gwen maybe not feeling too hot coming into this map. And however, coming into the ending with the identity, when you have someone who only has, you know, the mentality of risking in terms of Gwen, anything really is possible. But that also, as we were discussing with Massa previously, I mean, when you're living by risking, that can also be the death of you as well. However, we have our first finalist attempt here coming out from Gwen. It will be on Sky Euro, the Nadil map, of course. And as is typical with Nadil maps, the players do have a little bit more room for technique on these tracks, of course. It's not just simply they've got a lot more room for line choice here, as it's not just tight techniques going through each of these turns, but we do see Pack making a mistake at the first time of asking here. However, the 2 XLT players are holding strong. They want to maximise their opportunity of getting points and getting into the Trackmania Grandleague, so they will want to deny Gwen any opportunity. Affi opting for the safe approach here. Perhaps actually a very good choice there, as he sees some mistakes coming out from Pack and also Gwen falling down. However, it does not pay off as Affi touches as well. He's going to be losing some points here. And now if Pack actually gets himself into the top 2 as he is here at the moment, we might potentially see 3 people going into the final round as being within 1 round of finalist here. Yannex is up at the top here. This is great news for him, as he will put himself up to the 119 points mark, which means nothing can stop him from getting finalist mode next round, bar himself. Pack here at the moment, though, needs to hold on to the second place. He cannot afford to have any mistakes here. Our first place will severely dent anyone else's hopes of reaching finalist, though, as he gets a lovely drift. He touches into the ending here, as Yannex going to manage to hold it strong here, as he will not have had the information, perhaps. Where is Pack? Pack's catching up. Does he have more speed? He doesn't.
So pretty close there.
Close there. But much slower times than we're seeing in the time attack seeding, and I'm guessing that's because you really need to push it so hard if you want to get the good times here on this track. But we could potentially see a triple finalist coming out here. Either Pack or Affi's definitely going to miss out, but when failing on his first attempt at finalist.
Yeah, I mean, if Pack would have gotten first there and didn't touch it, we could have seen a quadruple finalist situation here in this final here. As we see Pack, however, not making a good start. It's right now, it is Affi in first, and Affi, if he grants himself that first place, he is finalist. And Yannex just needs to finish. But they have also They also need to deny Gwen here, who's on an outstanding start and comes back strong here. Yannex was barely able to stabilize himself. He almost touched the wall here. So it's Gwen with a very good line, very superior over the other players, gets a way better transition here. And right now it seems that Gwen is just marching through here. He's 1600 ahead of Yannex, and Pack is already dead in this round. He can have a saying, but he needs to risk it for the biscuit here in this identity. Gwen, however, gets a really good jump and extends his lead, make it 0.23 of a second here. And then we have the battle between both of the two Exalty players and Pack. Pack again with more speed, but it's Gwen here. Yeah, it's Gwen here, just increasing his lead, and he shows that he wants it. Only the identity is remaining, only quote-unquote, only one mistake here for Gwen. Is he gonna make it? Gwen, it looks good for him, but he hasn't had enough speed, but it's Pack failing, and actually Gwen making it. GG, well deserved. Gwen taking the first place here and the victory after Pack making a mistake. He had the speed kind of to overtake him theoretically, but Gwen taking it. Yannex up to finalist mode. Affi, Pack both with 114 points respectively. And now we have Yannex in his first finalist attempt.
Yeah, but it was very important there about Yannex getting the second place as he made an early mistake there. That's really such an easy place to crash there, but Pack is all the way out of the round. What is he doing? If he stays in third place, he will not get finalist mode there, but now he is putting this all in Affi's hands here. Really silly mistakes being made here by Yannex and Pack, but Affi does take the safe route. That'll allow Yannex to get closer and actually overtake him. What a slide there by Yannex. However, he makes the mistake there. That was all out. That was balls to the wall there from Yannex, but it did not pay off. And now Yannex having to settle for second place here perhaps, but Affi is the one who will decide all in this round. If he manages to keep his cool, which is certainly not an easy thing in this situation. These players perhaps not feeling his experience coming into these sort of things, but Affi's certainly one of your more seasoned members now, and he should be able to hold on to this no problem. He has a very strong gap here, just a nice and easy safe into the ending, and he should be good to go for his first finalist attempt here, but Pack will still be missing out. Let's see if he will manage it here. Going up the identity, slows down a little, makes him still a little bump there.
Oh my god.
That was definitely a code brown there for Affi, but he does survive.
Oh, I thought...
We'll have a two-way finalist though.
Yeah, I thought for a minute that Affi has lost it there, but yeah, you talked about that. You were talking about that Affi is one of the more cooler person when it comes to that, but you could really see his nerves coming through. So after Pack wants to play maybe some cookies after that, he is not able to grant himself the finalist status because he only got 4 points. Now both of the two Exalty members are battling it out. It's Pack's turn to deny it. He will definitely be finalist and battling it out for the third place, but maybe he wants to get that second place as well, as we see Affi and Yannex both with a very good start, and I really respect that Yannex! That Yannex went for the Neo slide there, but right now...
Pack lost so much speed.
Yeah, but now it's Yannex who is dead, but he's still in the mix. I don't know how he's only 0.4 of a second behind Affi here, but Affi with a very, very good start. Didn't get the best line here, so players come a little tad closer here, but it's all in this section now. We have the third section remaining and this uphill left drift into the identity, and then of course the little bit of a hairpin before that. So let's see if Affi can hold strong or if he will make a mistake. Players have nothing to lose. It's do or die for both of the players here. Yannex is half a second behind, and Pack again with a lot of speed over that uphill. Affi still in first. Affi is still in first. I repeat, man. Is Affi gonna take it here? Are the OGL players destroying, or not destroying, but winning against Pack here? Or is it Pack who went for the risk? Gonna take it? No, it's Affi actually.
Oh, Affi actually. Oh, Affi crashed the ending. Oh, I was so close.
And Pack is barely able to finish, or is he? Yes, he is. But Yannex almost overtake Affi there in the end. Yeah, and now we have a double finalist situation between Yannex and Pack. So the last round, round number 5, kick it off.
There we go. So this is going to be the final round of the single elimination bracket and the final round of the combined day. one, of course. Pack and Yannex both have finalists. Finally, Pack has, of course, managed to reach there after having a bit of a nightmare on this map, it must be said, but both players have had mistakes aplenty here. It's just going to be a question of who manages to survive this round, I think. However, Pack here at the moment finding himself about 0.2 of a second behind here. Will both players go for the risky option? Yannex opts to safe it actually a little bit more here. That allows Pack a window of opportunity back in here, as he gets so much more speed going through there. Both players go for quite an outside line there so they can get it as smooth as possible. Gain as much speed going through here, which will allow them to limit as much airtime as possible. Yannex had to release a little bit there just to make sure he has the best line coming through into this underground section.
Yannex
He goes too wide. He goes too wide and he goes onto the dirt. That means he's going to lose all of his grip. He's going to lose all of his time and he's going to lose all hope of taking home third place here. And the combine, it's going to be all down to Pack here, who has 1 second of a gap. Now we've seen Pack make mistakes here late on in this map, going through into the identity. Will that be the same here? He has 1 second of a gap. That should be enough, you'd think, for the 2016 World Champion. But what will we see here? Going very slow, perhaps.
GG.
Not at all, but
121.
At 21.9.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
Okay, so this is GG's towards Pack, and this will hurt Yannex because everything towards Gwen and Affi will hurt Yannex. This will just hurt him. But what a sick final. Can we just talk about this? This is... Wow, what a great performance by all of the players. The comeback from Affi, going from 4th to 2nd place. This is just insane. What a great round.
It's incredible, yeah. What a performance, especially in the last 2 maps. He really started to pick up the pace. But one thing I was keeping my eye out, especially for, we see a lot of mistakes from some of the OGL players in finalist mode. Yeah. First time Pack got to finalist mode, he closed it out right there and then with a really stellar time. Perhaps maybe once these players have got themselves a taste of some more competition, not to say that they're inexperienced, of course, but when we're talking about experience in Trackmania, we are talking about people who have been playing for years and years, so in the competitive circuit, so maybe it's something to keep an eye on going into day 2.
Yep, I think so as well. I mean, Pack just showed that he is able to, stay up with the pressure, but we've really seen a lot of mistakes, especially in the mid round from Gwen. Gwen seemed to dominate this match, and yeah, we didn't see this map. That's good or bad for the players. I think this would have been pretty good in like finalist mode or anything. But yeah, what a grand final here. But it's surprisingly to see that we have seen 3 OGL players here and not 2 or 2 players. So Gwen, Affi and Yannex, they want it so bad, and it's a little bit of a downset for Yannex here, but of course it's only quote-unquote 1 point, but this could decide anything here.
Yeah, for sure, especially when it's only the top 2 of OGL that will be guaranteed at the very least to come in. However, I can imagine some of the players or some of the organizations hopefully having some eyes on some of the OGL players and not just sticking with some players who maybe are not performing as they should be. But I guess that's something that remains to be seen at the very least. But I think that was a good day 1 in my opinion.
Yep, it was a really nice day, and I think this was the most exciting thing that we have seen so far. So that was really cool, a really good one. And yeah, thank you, Paul. It was a pleasure to do a cast with you. Actually, the first time. And yeah, thank you, man.
First time, I'm sure not the last. The pleasure is mine being able to join the man himself. But yeah, I'm going to head off, finally get some food now because I'm absolutely starving. But I hope you and everyone else has a nice evening.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining in, man. See ya.
No problem. Good night.
Wow, what a great second step of the Combine League.